Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and in today's video we are checking out the G3X from GOOVIS. This is a gaming and cinema headset that allows you to view your content at up to 800 inches in 2D or in 3D, and best of all, it's just plug and play. So let's take a look. And a huge thank you to GOOVIS for sending this over for the purpose of review. However, as always, everything in this video is my own thoughts and opinions, so let's get into this. Now, I've been sent the G3X along with all other accessories that you need to get up and running. However, if you're only really interested in the headset side of things, then just skip to this timecode just here, and that'll give you all the information you need just about the headset. So first up, we have the GOOVIS G10E wireless earbuds, basically made for VR. Now, the headset does have some built-in speakers, but a little bit more on that later. So with the earbuds, you get dedicated sound with this 2.4 GHz transmitter. It's very low latency, very small, and just plugs directly into any headset you're going to be using. The earbuds do have a pretty good overall sound to them, and again, when you take into consideration the price of the earbuds, the sound is kind of what you would expect. The case looks nice, the overall color scheme looks pretty good as well, and you've got some nice RGB to finish off the overall look. On board, you've got all of the touch controls that you need: intelligent noise cancellation, Bluetooth 5.3, and also USB charging using the included USB-C cable. Battery life's also pretty good, coming in at around 6 hours, and 20 hours when you take into account the charging case, and a quick 10-minute charge will give you an hour and a half worth of music playback. Now, while the earbuds aren't necessary to enjoy the G3S, they do provide much better audio than you get with the built-in speakers, which, like I mentioned, we'll get onto a little bit later on in the video. It's also quite nice to have some dedicated controls just on the earpiece as well, so if you're watching a YouTube video, something on Spotify, Netflix, wherever you want to be watching something, the pause play will still work the same, skipping tracks will work in your favourite music player, and just in general, I think it's a little bit of a better way to actually kind of interact with the music or whatever it is you're watching. Next up, we have the D4 4K portable media player. Now again, this isn't necessary to use the G3S, however, if you want to get some of your favourite streaming shows from Netflix, Disney Plus, or any other application on Android TV, then this is a great way to do it, and it's also portable. It's basically a 4K Android TV box that can be used out and about. You're not going to be tethered to a wall with this one. Also, if you're on a plane or a train or out in a hotel, for example, and you want to use the headset or just plug this into a TV, then you've got the option to do so because it's completely portable with a built-in battery. So if you want to catch up on the latest episode of X-Men 97, you've got the option to do so even when out and about. Inside the box, you have a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and that's for the battery bank side of things. You've got a remote, which is very simple, dedicated buttons for some of your favourite streaming platforms as well. And this comes in super handy with the G3X headset because there's no pass-through with any sort of cameras or anything like you get on the Apple Vision Pro, for example, so any input you're using, you kind of need to know what you're doing beforehand. You then have the power bank side of things for the media player. Now this has an 8,000 mAh battery, USB charging, and some pins here to actually attach the media player itself. You've also got some LED indicator lights along the side there just to let you know the battery level of what you're currently using. Now that 8,000 mAh battery is pretty good for about 2 or 3 full-length movies. So again, if you're going on a train ride or a plane, for example, for maybe 6-7 hours, you're not really going to have any issues while using this headset directly with this power bank and the media player. Now the 4K box can also be used standalone without the power bank, however it kind of defeats the purpose because you do need to have it plugged into power, whereas with this power bank it's kind of its own standalone unit that you can use out and about. Now the actual TV box side of things is extremely small and tiny. Now it can be used on its own like I mentioned, however the easiest way to use it is just to put it on top of the power bank. You've got the USB-C charging if you do want to use it standalone, along with the HDMI side of things around the other side for the HDMI output to whatever it is you're going to be using it with. And this tiny package also has a ton of power when it comes to the actual streaming box itself. You've got a quad-core ARM Cortex A35 processor, 2GB of RAM, and 16GB of internal storage, but this can be extended due to having a microSD card slot on the actual unit itself. Now on board, it's basically running Android TV, so you've got all of your favourite applications that you can get on Android TV, games on the Play Store. It's also got built-in Chromecast support, so this can actually act as a dedicated Chromecast, so if you want to Chrome something from one place to another, you can then cast it basically directly to whichever headset you're going to be using. And also if you do use it on a monitor or a TV, for example, you're going to be getting full 4K output, which yes, you're not maybe going to be getting on the headset due to the actual lens resolution, but it's a really great option even if you want to use it on something like a TV or a monitor at your desk or in your setup. It's a pretty good option overall, and of course if you've used anything Android TV related before, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You can sign into your favorite streaming applications like Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube, and then you're basically up and running. You can watch what you need to, when you need to, and it syncs across pretty much any Android Android TV device as well. So for me, I've actually got a Chromecast with Android TV on my TV in the background here, and if I watch something on there and then go over to the portable media player, I can actually then just pick up exactly where I left off, so great continuity. But now onto the main event, the GOOVIS G3X. Now, while I was writing this script, I didn't really know what to call the device. It's not a VR headset, it doesn't really do AR, it's basically more of a portable media player that allows you to watch your favourite content at massive scales. So instead of watching YouTube on your phone, which is typically at around 6 inches, or a laptop watching your favourite TV show at maybe 13 inches, this allows you to watch your favourite movie at up to 800 inches, also while being out and about. So in the box, the first thing you're going to come to is the carrying case, which holds everything that you need and is also included for the price. I'm looking at you, Apple. A generous length USB-C to C cable, additional face piece if the fit of the current one just doesn't feel right, lens cleaning cloth which can also be used on the outside because that mirror finish picks up a ton of fingerprints just by taking the device on and off. So you definitely want to keep it clean to give that overall nice futuristic look that the headset offers. You then get the adjustable head strap. Now for me, it was a little bit hard to actually adjust the head strap while it was on because again, the weight of everything made it a little bit harder to do. However, if you do set it up, then try it on, then take it off and set it up again, you'll eventually get that perfect fit. Now the head strap does have a ton of padding and it's some of the softest and most memory foam cushioning that I've felt on a device like this. Once it's actually on, it feels very nice, it's not too heavy, not too weighty overall, and of course it's pretty good for the overall weight distribution of the headset, and that shouldn't really be an issue. However, keep in mind though that the actual headset plus the strap is only around 200 grams, so all in all it's a pretty light package to begin with, because again, most of the computing work is done by wherever it is you're plugging it into. On the bottom part of the headset is the connection point to the G3X, and you may find it strange that there are pins here, but that's because the side circles around the actual headset are the speakers for the device itself. And again, we'll get onto the sound side of things just in a moment. We then have the main part of the headset, and that is of course the lenses. Now the G3X in general does feel extremely premium, it looks really nice and very nice materials, and again I think based on the price it kinda should do, but we'll get onto that later in the video. It's a nice mixture of thick plastics, glass and metal that feels great. Not sure how it would do in a drop test, but then again, how will any headset hold up to that in general? There's a nice feeling soft inset for the detachable mask here, which also does attach with magnets. So it's very easy to take off and clean because again, any sort of oils that you've got on your nose or your forehead or pretty much anywhere around your eyes is definitely going to go over to the headset very easily. So again, to be able to take this off and clean it is a bonus in my opinion, especially if you want to be sharing the headset with others. On the left of the headset, you have a 3.5mm audio input. So if you do want to use wired earbuds or headphones, you can, or like we're using the wireless earbud option. On the top left, you have the volume up and down buttons, and I won't do a full sound test, but take my word for it, you do want to take advantage of that headphone jack with this one. Now in the middle, you do have the connection for the head strap, release button, covered USB-C port, and what I'm guessing is some cooling vents. The right side has the USB-C port for connecting all of your media inputs, 2D and 3D button, as this headset can watch 3D content with no issues, along with the brightness up and down for the G3X. Also, at the bottom of the headset you have two twist knobs. Now, the first purpose of this is to align the lenses to your eyes, and secondly you have a bunch of numbers. And if you're a glasses wearer, you may know what this is for. It's basically so you don't have to wear your glasses with the headset. The G3X is equipped with a plus 2D to minus 8D diopter adjustment and 56 to 72mm adjustable pupillary distance. So you can adjust the headset to fit your needs even when not having to worry about wearing your glasses. Then we get onto the lenses, and in general they are pretty darn good. You have dual Sony micro LED lenses per eye that come in at 1920 by 1080 resolution. Now like I mentioned, this gives you a screen size of around 800 inches, but don't think of it as filling up your full vision and kind of getting in your peripheral vision and things like that. That's not really what it's for. Imagine watching an 800 inch screen but from around 20 meters away. Yes, it's an overall nice viewing experience, and we'll get onto that in just a moment, but you do also have black all around the edges as well. It doesn't kind of fill it in like other headsets do, or offer that full immersion like you get where it actually surrounds the peripheral vision as well. So with everything unboxed, set up and ready to go, how is actually the G3X day to day? Well, it's actually pretty good. That screen looks amazing for a start. Now it's not as easy for me to show you on camera because again, if I'm reviewing a new smartphone, laptop, monitor, I can just show you what that looks like on camera and you kind of get an idea of what you're going to be looking at. But this one, again, being that more personal viewing experience, is kind of just for me, so I'll do my best to describe exactly how it looks. Now, trust me when I say that the size is amazing. The colours are vibrant while staying true to form, brightness is great, blacks are deep, the HDR looks great, and in general it's a very, very good viewing experience. Now, for most devices to work with the headset like my Series S or Mac, you do need to use the included HDMI to USB-C adapter. But once everything was hooked up and ready to go, I was playing my favourite games with this awesome 800-inch display. Now, like I mentioned multiple times in this video, the speakers that you get on the headset or the actual head strap itself, they do a pretty okay job. If you're watching a quick YouTube video from time to time or listening to a podcast, for example, then I think they're going to work out perfectly fine. However, if you're watching a favourite TV show or movie, you definitely want to use some dedicated audio in-ear devices like wireless earbuds or something wired using that 3.5mm jack. And watching a movie like Dune or something with a grand spectacle was great. Once you got the focus and the eye positioning all set up in the headset, it was as simple as plug and play. Now, one issue that some people may have with this headset if coming from something like a Meta Quest or an Apple Vision Pro or using it alongside those devices is the lack of any camera pass-through. So if I'm using something like my MacBook Pro hooked up to this headset, you don't have any sort of pass-through to see something like the mouse, trackpad or keyboard. Now, if you can touch type, it's not too bad, you can kind of get an idea of what you're doing, but without that pass-through you do have to kind of move the headset from time to time, which is very simple to do because the hinge mechanism that you get on the headset with the strap makes it easy to kind of just move it up, see what you're doing and then put it back down. But it's a little bit of an annoying experience from time to time. But then again, if you're just using it for playing games or watching a movie where all you need to really worry about is a controller or a play button, then it's not too bad. For using the Android TV box, this wasn't an issue due to having only a couple of buttons that you need to remember. As long as you know the volume, home and select, that's pretty much all you need and you're pretty good to go. And I actually think this is where this headset kind of excels in my opinion. Now yes, you can hook it up to your monitor, you can hook it up to your games console, but then you need to be close to those things which I'm pretty sure are going to be plugged into a display anyway. So for me, the best version of this is using it with that 4K media box, using it out and about while I was going on a long journey, for example, or just sitting on the sofa and I didn't necessarily want to watch the TV for whatever reason. I think it does a pretty good job for that sort of thing. Again, watching a favourite movie with a good pair of earbuds is a pretty good overall watching experience. And I did also use it with my Xbox Series S, and that was a very simple experience because again, if you're used to using a controller, you know where all of the buttons are, so it's not going to be a problem at all. And again, the visuals looked pretty good in general. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use it for the most competitive games out there. For me, driving sims and more story-driven games are the way forward, but it done a pretty good job. For me though, and this is more of a personal thing, I did actually get a little bit motion sick while playing, you know, first-person shooters or story-driven games that had a lot of camera movement to them, for example. However, for some reason, Forza, which is a racing game which kind of puts you directly in the driver's seat, I didn't feel any motion sickness at all and it was a pretty good experience. But because you do get that disconnect with the movement that you're seeing in the headset and your actual body movement, sometimes motion sickness can play a part, and for me, after a while, it was better to take off the headset, sit at my desk with a nice chair and use the monitor for kind of the majority of my gaming. But in general, the headset done an amazing job. Like I mentioned, the visual side of things, which I think is the main part of the headset like this, if the lenses or the screens weren't very good and it was a lower resolution, the colors weren't good, the brightness wasn't good, then I don't think that this headset would have any use whatsoever because that's exactly what you're going to be looking at. So that kind of leads me on to my next question, and that's exactly who this headset is actually for. And I just think it's for those that want a slightly different viewing experience. Now, if you do a lot of traveling, for example, and you're on a train and normally you've kind of propped your phone up or you've got your laptop open where everyone can see what you're watching, if you're watching something like the new Barbie movie and don't want anyone to know, then this kind of gives you that little bit of personalization. However, if you do have a really nice TV setup at home with a large screen, surround sound system, then don't get me wrong, yes, this headset isn't going to replace that exact setup, but that again is more for sort of viewing things with family, loved ones, friends, things like that. If you just want to kind of go for a travel, go for a train ride, or while you're in bed, for example, and watch something very specific just for you, then I think that's kind of what this headset's for. And it is a very solo experience, which again, some people may or may not like, but then again, I think if you're buying this headset, you know exactly why you're buying it for. If you're the kind of person that sits down every Friday night with the family to watch your favorite movie or catch up on the best TV show, then yeah, the headset's not for you because you don't get that social experience. However, if you do want to catch up on a very specific show just for you, and you want to do it while you're traveling or in bed or sat on the sofa while someone's watching something else, then it can be a pretty good experience overall. Now onto the last part of the video, and that is the price of everything that I've mentioned in this video. Now the GOOVIS G3X starts between $599 and $649. Now if you do also get it with the 4K streaming box, that can get up to $700 or $800. So price to performance, is it really worth it? Now yes, you can get some other headsets for way less, like the Meta Quest for example, and you've also got a headset that offers stuff for way more, and that's the Apple Vision Pro. So this kind of sits a little bit somewhere in the middle, but what's the overall value like? For me, it's a little bit overpriced considering that you do need any sort of input method to actually use the G3X. You can't use it standalone just with the headset, you always have to have something plugged in. Now I know that that's similar to some other headsets out there, but some of them do also have their own operating systems. So again, like the Apple Vision Pro or something like the Meta Quest, you don't always have to have a streaming box, games console, TV or something like that directly plugged in. You can sometimes watch stuff on the device itself, and you've also got some camera pass-through to allow for some AR and some VR experiences, which again you just don't get with this headset. But like I mentioned at the very start of this video, I don't really think that that's what it's for. It's more of just a viewing platform. But let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think of the G3X. Is it something that you may be looking into, or do you want a more VR AR experience compared to what you get here? Of course, if there's anything that you want to know about this headset or anything else in the video, let me know in the comments section down below. And also if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button down below. And also if you're not subscribed while you're down there, now is a great time to do so. Of course, once you hit that subscribe button, don't forget to turn on the notifications so you're notified anytime that I post a video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.